Hey guys, welcome back to the video. I just want to get on here before the video starts. If you don't want to hear me ramble for a little bit, go ahead and skip to this time for when the video actually starts. However, I just want to thank you all for so much support on the last video and the first video unveiling the M3. That video is actually a year old, so the content coming out will be, I'm going to try to post every 2 weeks. And that'll be content that I filmed on the M3 over the last year. So have no fear. We're over a year later. I still have the car. Can't show you. Just know there's a lot more done to the car, and there's a lot more to come from this current point in time. Regardless, I really appreciate y'all's support on the last video. It's my most viewed video by far. I think that video alone has netted me like 1,200 subscribers. So I'm excited to have y'all along for the journey on working on building and upgrading the M3. Obviously, for those of you interested in the Mustang, still have that. There will still be content on that, and there's still more content that's going to be coming on doing some stuff to my truck as well. For those interested in the M3 content, there is plenty, and there will be racing being done with it and all kinds of stuff. I've always had a dream of being a YouTuber, and I don't know if necessarily I'll ever fully get there, but we're gonna try. This is a big leap in the right direction for me, and it's very exciting that I'm getting to do this, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities I have, the vehicles I have, and you guys, the viewers. So I just wanted to show my appreciation before this video started. Is honestly, it's blown my mind how well the video on the M3 did, because it could have been like the rest of my videos and get a couple hundred views, which I obviously am still very thankful for that, but to get 68,000 views or whatever it's at right now is actually nuts. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to post with the car and do stuff with the car and bring content to y'all that y'all enjoy and content that I enjoy making. And I'm really just excited to be along for the ride here. But yeah, I just wanted to show my appreciation before this video started. And yeah, it means the world to me that you guys are tuning in to watch the journey of me doing stuff that I really just like to do, and y'all are interested in it. So that's awesome to me. So thank y'all. And now we're gonna get started with some M3 content. Beings, as the last video did so well, there's an overwhelming amount of positive comments on the video and people sharing their stories and all kinds of stuff in the comments, and that's awesome to see. However, there were a couple criticism comments, and I will address a couple of those right now. There were a couple comments about that I did not get the car for $800. I can assure you, I for sure did pay $800 in cash for the car. I had to go to the ATM. I could only get $500 out that day. I had to borrow $300. So yes, I definitely bought it that day. I had a title and I have the bill of sale to prove that I paid $800 for the car. There were some other comments about it not being a real M3. It is definitely a real M3. Again, the title says M3, on top of the fact that it literally, if you're not blind, has every single M3 component on it, and the S52, nobody's going through that amount of work to make a replica M3 and then just let it sit in their yard. That's kind of pointless. Other than that, there were a couple odds and end comments, but for the most part, yes, I did pay $800, and yes, it is a real M3. So with that being said, that leaves me with a lot more money to play around with doing some stuff to the car. So in a short period of time, we're going to do a lot of stuff to the car, which look out for that, because this car is going to undergo a massive transformation in not a lot of time, and we're going to have fun with it. We're going to race that mug. This video, we're going to be starting off here in a second of me driving the car back from my property. I didn't film too much on actually that whole process, but basically I will fill you in. All I did was I drove it from my property down the street to Discount Tire, and I had some new Advan Apex V601 tires put on it. I changed the oil, made sure the coolant was topped off, and that was it. So basically, since last video to this clip of me driving it, that is all that has changed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to that footage now. Look at what the frick we got going on, man. Almost about 65, I was doing 70 earlier. Straighter than a mug. Got James in the passenger seat. Hello. And we're, whoa. Basically, we're heading back to my house because him and I are actually leaving for California. So if this car breaks down between here and the next 15-ish minutes, we are not making our flight because we're already kind of cutting it a little late. So hopefully it doesn't break. But right now, it's doing fantastic and it cruises so well and it doesn't shake anymore. This window, I'll throw in a clip, got stuck down. So that was kind of fun. But hey, it's just a BMW, right? And this keeps falling down. So we just put it in the glove box because it's a BMW, right? And we've topped off the coolant like 3 times now because it's a BMW, right? So
it's just going somewhere. I don't know where it's going.
It is 100% going somewhere. This mirror won't move, so I can't see anything, but that's about all I can see is the side of the car. So makes it very dangerous to change lanes. Almost killed us once, so that's fun because it's a BMW, right? This person, they're in a Ford. It's broken, obviously, because it's a Ford, right? It's a Fusion. It's a Fusion, right? But hey, you know what? We're still going. We're still cooking. Hopefully we make it back. It's a few days later now, finally back from our trip, and I am just now starting to get cracking on the BMW again. So there was a few hiccups with the car. I've driven it, I've been back for a few days now. I've driven the car a couple times, and a couple things I've noticed. Number one, these back windows are getting pretty sticky in the tracks, and that was causing a lot of stress on them. I ended up freeing them up a little bit from when I got it, but this one on this side, for whatever reason, decided to get stuck again. And I tried to roll it down yesterday and it went pop, and I heard all the plastic fall on the bottom of the door, and then the window didn't move again. So I had to push it back up by hand, so it's just sitting in here right now, so it'll probably fall down. Thankfully I didn't roll it down very far before it broke, so it'll only fall down a little bit or all the way. I'm not sure how that works. However, that one's now broken and the driver window is also broken. But the other issue we had, you can see all this fuel in here, and that was actually leaking out of this cap. Now, every video I watched, nobody covered this cap. There's not another line that goes to right here or anything. It's just open. And actually, that's how the factory one was. It was in here too. It was just open. So I just left it that way. But apparently this one goes all the way through or something. So when you take a turn hard to the right, slosh all the fuel out, and then we ended up smelling it, and I knew pretty much exactly what was causing it at that point in time. Opened it up, and there it was. So I got a vacuum cap to put on it there, put a little zip tie around it to keep it from coming off. I'm gonna drive it around a little bit, make sure it was that and not the ring seated wrong or something like that. Outside of that, the shifter is so blown out that it is really hard to find third gear, and I put it in fifth all the time, and it's so blown out on top of that that the gears move around all the time. Like sometimes you'll have to basically put it back in first, what it feels like, for it to go into third. And if you put it where third normally is, it goes into fifth. And then sometimes it'll move around and third will be where it's supposed to be, but then when you try to put it in fifth, fifth's like way over there in freaking Africa. Definitely a shifter's in order. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump straight to the tall shifter because that's really what I want in this car ultimately in the end anyway. And it's honestly not much of a price difference from just rebuilding the stock shifter and doing it properly anyway. So that's what we're gonna go with. Since I've had the car back, as you can see, these wheels are in pretty rough shape. I got some center caps on the way along with new emblems for the front and back as well. But outside of that, you can see the brake dust are eating into the wheels. So over here, I did probably what you're not supposed to do, but these wheels are a lot cleaner. And so what I did is I sprayed some iron remover on them, and then I just hit them with a really light Scotch Brite Pad. You can see it did scratch them, but even then there's still like stuff left in them. So I'm gonna have to get a clay bar, something to try to get that out. Thankfully it's not scratched too bad. These wheels aren't in that greatest shape regardless. Like you could see all the clear coats cracking on them, and they're all every single wheel is curved as well, so I'm not super stressing about it. It's not like they're polished look anyway. They're more of a brushed look from factory, so it's not super noticeable. But I'll probably clean them up, clay bar them, maybe go over them with some really high grit, like 3000 grit sandpaper, and just try to get a smooth, equal brushed finish all over them, and they'll probably look all right. Either that or I'll polish them. Something. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get cracking. We already fixed that fuel leak. I'm now going to replace the serpentine belt, I guess, because I'm trying to drive this to work. It drives great. It needs a lot. It makes a lot of suspension noise. I think there's a heat shield rattle in the back I'm gonna try to source because it sounds terrible. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get cracking on it. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this tail light out. As you can see, this weather stripping has come unglued. You shove it back in there, it'll also just constantly fall right back out the second you start driving. So I'm gonna pull this tail light out, clean up these surfaces, glue it back because it's really bugging me, and it's a really quick and easy fix. There's 4 8s that hold this on and 1 plug on the back, and she should slide right out. This taillight's just kind of seized in there, so I'm really trying not to break it because I've already broken many pieces of plastic in this car just by being in it. So I'm sure the taillights are no exception. So we're gonna go ahead and try to just wiggle it out. She does not want to wiggle though, I'll tell you what. A little more progress there. And there we have it. It's finally out. As you can see, found some rust here. After peeling off a lot of this seam sealer here, it is showing me some rust, which I already knew. Over here, there's some rust forming. So what I'm gonna do, we got a little wire wheel here. Probably not the perfect method to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and just knock all this down and find all the rust that I can find. Looks like it goes all the way around here. So I'm probably just gonna crack all this off, wire wheel it all, and go get some spray paint for now, some rust reformer to put on it, and do that until I can properly fix it. But I just don't want it to keep rusting. And then eventually, I don't think this is the point to where it's through yet. It is a pinhole started up here, so I wanna go ahead and get attacking on this before it gets too bad. As suspected, we're pretty good. Looks like there might be one small pinhole forming, but as long as we get it cleaned up and painted, I'll re-seam sealer this in the future. I'm not worried about a pinhole. It's not like it's the cleanest example of an M3 anyway, so there's a lot of cracking going on in the seam sealer around this taillight bucket. I'm sure some of that has to do with the rear impact, but now that I've seen this, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the other taillight too. Clean it up while I have it out and check out in there. I'm sure it's rusted as well. I know it's rusted up top like this one right here, so it's probably rusted elsewhere just like this one as well. I just want to go ahead and get ahead of it before it gets too bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and chip away at this now. Tell you what, hotter than a hoochie's coochie out here. We got this all stripped all the way down now. Hammered this back down a little bit so it's not bulging into the taillight. I don't know if I'm gonna have to replace this whole tailpiece section just because it's bent up right there, and it's like I could see into the trunk right there, so that's ripped. And this is pretty dang buckled. I don't think there's any way I'm gonna be able to fix this without cutting this section out and replacing it. We'll see, I'm not sure. I'd rather not do that because I don't really know how to do that, but that would be a great learning experience to figure it out. I just, you know, it's an M car, even though it's not a nice one, I would really hate to mess it up even more than it already is. So we'll think about it. That's down the road. I'm not crazy about fixing that right now, but I am crazy about pulling this bumper out because it looks terrible. I can pull this out pretty easily and probably knock, you know, some of this down to make it look a little better. I don't think that'd be too much of a task for me, but cutting out, welding, body work, paint, all that might be a bit of a task. We'll see. So we went ahead and pulled this tail light out here too. This side's better and worse. So up here, you can see there's just mild rusting going on right there. Very, very mild. I'll probably just go ahead and hit that and paint it too while I'm in here. Over here is worse. So there's definitely a hole right there. Granted, it's not a huge hole, and the trim piece of the taillight covers this. You know, cutting out and welding this isn't going to be a huge deal if it doesn't look super pretty because it is behind the trim, but it does need to be fixed. For now, I might just clean it up best I can, paint it, and throw some tape over it. I know that's really jank, but I can't fix it right this second, so that's maybe what I'll just go ahead and do. Back to this side. So this side is a little worse elsewhere. So as you can see, there's definitely more rust going on here. All this is bubbling. Not bad, but it is bubbling. Under here, same kind of deal as on the other side. Doesn't look to be any worse or anything like that. And then I went ahead and knocked some of the paint off of this here just to see what we were working with. This is also not terrible. And you know, here is not bad. We'll be able to get all this back right. I'm not super concerned with it. And that's pretty much what I can find about the extent of the rust on the car. It's just this back here. Now, when I rip out the carpets and stuff like that, I'm sure I'll find more. The floor pans look completely solid on the underside of the car, but that doesn't mean they're not rusting under the carpet if water's been leaking in or something. So we'll just have to see about that when we get there. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get working on that because there's a few things I'd like to do to the car before I start driving it. Really want to replace the serpentine belt and put the pusher fan on and see if I can find the coolant leak. Outside of that, I think it's okay to drive for now. It probably will still brake, but as long as it brakes leaving work and not going to work, we'll be fine. So let's get cracking. Here's what we're working with. Up close, as you can see, we got a pinhole, no big deal. That's just the weep hole there. None of this is rusted too bad. It seems like it's, if you really hammer on this hard, it seems like small spot here is soft, so I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't want another pinhole. I'm not gonna be able to get this perfect. I don't have enough time today, and I'm driving this tomorrow, so I need to fix it. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more and get it painted. Well, I apologize for what is most likely the most heinous looking masking job ever, but it's gonna hold out paint, and I am out of time because I need to do other stuff on the car. In the meantime, I'm gonna prep the other side and then do it when I'm done with this side. We got rust reformer here. Definitely not the best stuff to use. This is just a temporary fix, so hopefully it doesn't continue to get worse before I actually have time and a space that's not a driveway to properly sandblast this and do the proper body work and paint it legitimately to make it a proper repair. But for now, we're going with this. Not that the paint on this car is inherently nice, but it is at least all one color, so hopefully I have it masked off properly. We'll go ahead and let that dry for a bit. Not the world's best repair, but it's a repair at the end of the day. Maybe even just a band-aid. It's something. It's better than it was. That's about all I can ask for at this moment. Let's go ahead and do this side. Now we got this side finally all taped off, and we're gonna go ahead and hit it. Obviously this side was not nearly as rusty as the other side, other than this big hole up here, but it didn't spread nearly as far, it just stayed right at the seam. Perfect. We'll come back with another coat in a minute. In the meantime, I took out this tail light. Once again, up at the top, this weather seal's coming off, so I'm gonna go grab that super glue again, find any other spots, clean up it all on the back like I did the other one, throw some wax on the lens, throw it back in the car. This side is all dry now. It does not look that good. I'm at limited tools since I moved recently in terms of being able to actually do stuff properly. But like I said, hopefully in less than a year I'll be actually fixing it. It'll probably rust more in that time, but hopefully it's not enough to matter. Got the fan going so I don't get overspray all over this stuff over here. This stuff sprays strong, buddy. Tell you what, the wind is definitely a little counterintuitive. It's already looking better. I'll just go ahead and get this finished up off camera. We'll jump to the other side.
Hey.
Why do you come out here when I start recording? So I finally just put on the last coat here. We're gonna go ahead and pull off this masking tape. I already did on the other side. Now I'm pulling this tape off a little early because I literally just laid down the coat. But when you're peeling off masking after you've painted something, typically you don't want to wait too long before you peel it off because it could possibly get stuck to the paint and actually peel your paint off with the tape. So you still want to do it while it's at least a little bit wet so that doesn't happen. Now, if it wasn't extremely obvious already, this paint does not match at all, which was to be expected because I got it from Walmart. It's a lot better than black, and it's not going to be noticeable if for whatever reason there's a gap in the taillight, which there shouldn't be, but you never know. And I'll bring you in close on both of them so you can see. It should hopefully last me a little bit. All right, here's our repair. It's nothing crazy, but I think it'll hold off the rust for long enough for me to have a place to fix it properly. This side still got the tape behind here. I'm probably going to tape this off from the back and the front with some duct tape or something to keep water from going in the trunk. I think it looks okay. I think it's good enough for what I need it to do. But I now have both tail lights all cleaned up, waxed, and all of the weather stripping is glued back on them. So we're ready to throw them in the car. So let's get them put in. And then we'll just take our plug and plug it back in here, even though you can't see what I'm doing at all. Just like that, back installed. Now let's do the other side. There is a little bit of water in this taillight that's just gonna have to evaporate over time. I accidentally got it in there when I was cleaning it. Oh well. Plug our clip in again, just like that. And now both sides are done. You can see a very small amount of the white paint there. Kind of figured that'd be the case, no big deal. So the last thing I'm gonna do to close out the evening is try to clean up these wheels like I did on the other side. Again, I'm gonna use iron remover and a soft Scotch-Brite pad and just try to go at them. These wheels are definitely worse off than the other ones were to start with, so they might not come back fully, but we're just gonna go ahead and give it a shot. We'll wet it down first, and we'll just spray this on. Everything nice and incorporated. Ah, this stuff smells terrible, as it always does. All right, we've let it sit for a bit. And oh yeah, this side is a lot more on there. This is why you clean your wheels, people, especially if you have semi-metallic pads. They will do this, and if you go long enough without cleaning them, it will embed in the clear coat like this. And if your wheels are aluminum like this, and they're kind of brushed, you can get away with using the Scotch-Brite pad and not being too noticeable the amount of scratches in the clear coat on it. But if your wheels are painted, especially black, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I don't know why this side's so bad and the other side's not. The previous owner of this car really did not do it any favors, and that is for sure. Alright, I've now scrubbed everything I want to scrub with the Scotch-Brite. See how we're looking? I can already tell it's gonna look a little better, but not crazy. Yeah, kind of figured. I think they can come back, but they're gonna need a lot of persuasion, that is for sure. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Well, anyway, I wanted to catch it on camera. It did not work too well, so we'll move on.